Hello guys, you are welcome to English Literature for All. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon also so that you get the notifications of all my videos later. So today, what we're going to do is going to discuss some MCQs from the Chaucerian to the Shakespearean period. These questions are one-line questions actually, one-liners, so it will be very much easy for you to remember all the questions as these are all one liners. So number one question is, who is known as the father of English literature? We know very well that Chaucer is the father of English literature. Then the second one is, Chaucer's poetic career is divided into, his poetic career is divided into three periods. So we know that French literature, Italian literature and the English period are key. So these are the periods into which his literary career has been divided. Okay, so who introduced the heroic couplet in English? It is Chaucer who introduced the heroic couplet in English literature. And who used rhyme royal for the first time? It is also Chaucer who used rhyme royal for the first time in English literature. Who married the child daughter of King of France? Richard II was the person who married the child daughter of King of France. Who called Chaucer the father of English poetry? Chaucer was regarded as the father of English poetry by Matthew Arnold, who was one of the greatest critics. Chaucer's first poem was The Rimo of the Rose. Okay. Number 11. Which poem is called the best of the French period? The Book of the Duchess was the poem which was called the best of his French period. Chaucer is known much for his realism. So realism was one of his features, one of the features of his style, of his writings, for which he is well known. Number 13. A statue that allowed English in law courts was introduced in the year. A statue that allowed English in law courts was introduced in the year. The year is 1362. Number 14. Chaucer was born during the reign of Edward the Third. Okay. In Prologue to the Canterbury Tales, Chaucer used the 10-syllabic lines. Okay. In Prologue to the Canterbury Tales, Chaucer used 10-syllabic lines. Number 16. The Book of the Duchess. In the Book of the Duchess, Chaucer made use of the 8-syllabic lines. Okay. So 10-syllabic lines were used in the Prologue to the Canterbury Tales, and in the Book of the Duchess he used 8-syllabic lines. Okay. Then 17. The rising chivalry of Chaucer's time is portrayed in the character. So he dealt with chivalry in his character Square. The character is present in the Canterbury Tales, obviously, who said that the Chaucerian inferiority is well marked in satire as in anything else. Who said this remark that Chaucerian inferiority is well marked in satire as in anything else? So he is inferior in his satires. Okay, so Hugh Walker was the person who said Chaucer was inferior in his satirical works rather than anything else. New learning was brought to England in the year 1499. New learning. Okay. 20. Romantic movement had its symptoms in the ballads of the 15th century, when Elizabethan age is going to be started. So romantic movement had its symptom for the first time in the ballads of 15th century. Langland's Piers the Plowman is a satire on clergymen. Okay, so on religious activities, Langland used to attack through his Piers the Plowman. 22. Who presented the fear caused by the peasant rebels? The Fear was the work by Gower. So the next is, Henry IV reigned during 1399 to 1413. So this is the period during which he reigned. Number 24. Chaucer used the rhyme royal stanza in which of his poems? The poem is Troilus and Cressida. Okay. 25. Chaucer referred to the stormy people in which work? In the Clerk's Tale. Okay. In this work he referred the stormy people. Hoar stormy people refers to peasants' revolts. Okay. In Chaucer's characters, who is shown to be in love for gold? Doctor of Physic is the person. He was such a greedy person who had love for gold in spite of being a doctor. 28. Orpheus and Eurydice and the Wolf and the Lamb were written by Henryson. Henryson wrote Orpheus and Eurydice and the Wolf and the Lamb. Okay. The next is in Douglas's King Heart. Heart is what? Heart is the heart of life. In Square Melodrama, a poem full of romance and realism was written by Lindsay. Lindsay was the person who wrote a poem full of romance and realism. The poem is Square Melodrama. 31. Palace of Honor was written by Gavin Douglas. Gavin Douglas was the person who wrote Palace of Honor. So these were the questions. I think these are very important questions from Shakespearean period. So if you like the video, please subscribe the channel and like the video also. And for the next parts, please stay tuned.